Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Friday, February 21st, around 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2025. The Turkish government has warned the people of Istanbul of the threat of a strong earthquake and tsunami. Holy macaroni. Keep calm. It's boom time. New information coming out from NOAA showing the 2025 spring weather outlook across the U.S. Now, these maps never hold up. This is what it looked like for the end of winter. We're going to be above normal in the south, but we had record-breaking snow in areas that have never seen snow at the depths we saw earlier in the month. This is the temperature outlook below normal in the Pacific Northwest and above normal in the south, according to NOAA. The precipitation forecast showing above normal precipitation for the Great Lakes region, above normal for the Pacific Northwest, and below normal for the Four Corners. Bad news for us. But we did have some snowfall activity in Colorado over the last few days. People have been spotted pushing vehicles on I-70 amid treacherous, snowy conditions. And conditions indeed. Here is the last 3 days of snow across the U.S. and that storm that rafed the mid-Atlantic, dropping more than a foot of snow where we predicted it on the state line between Virginia and North Kakalaki. Even Virginia Beach picked up on some record-breaking snow. Ho, ho, ho. And those problems where people were pushing cars around were up here in the northern Rockies of Colorado, just west of Denver. And here is the full forecast. Atmospheric river in the Pacific Northwest and northern Rockies this weekend. A Pacific storm and atmospheric river will impact the Pacific Northwest states and the northern Rockies this weekend, bringing locally heavy low elevation rain and heavy high elevation snow in the mountains. By Sunday, over the interior Northwest, rain combined with snowmelt will increase the risks of flood hazards, and flood watches are in effect in green. Simply go to weather.gov and click on your county for more information. A quick look at the GFS model shows that precipitation moving into the Pacific Northwest. It'll stay there through Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Heavy snow for the mountains in the west. Overall, low-level activity until we reach here Sunday, February 23rd. We've got a little bit of spicy weather maybe for Louisiana there and in the south, but that rapidly dissipates by Tuesday and moves offshore. But it will affect some of the southern tier, as you can see those storms moving through there. Same time, the snow will be falling in the Pacific Northwest. We may have a small system move through the northeast here Tuesday and Wednesday, dropping some lake effect snow and some higher elevation snow in that region. By the end of the week, another mini clipper will hit the northeast again, bringing more snow there, but no real big storms until we get late in the models here and into March. Things may develop, but it is way off, and none of these models will hold true. In the meantime, we can look at the total snowfall, and you can see how that main pattern is in the west, Pacific Northwest region, and the Great Lakes in the northeast. And this is showing the models out through the second week of March. So let's walk them through here. Here is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, into Monday morning. The heaviest snowfall totals will be in the Pacific Northwest. 4 feet of snow could fall up there in the Olympics, as well as portions of the Cascades, the mountains of Idaho and western Montana as well, picking up 16 inches or more potentially. And then we're walking it through here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Not much going on. A little snow in the northeast, very little activity in the center of the U.S., and most areas completely calm. After that, the models are way out and probably really not going to hold up. So let's just say through February 26th, this is probably what you'll be looking at. Last night, we discussed the record cold temperatures that fell across the central U.S. We only talked about Nebraska and Kansas, so tonight we'll go over a few more of the U.S. cold records that have been broken in just the last 48 hours. There's also relentless snow slamming Turkey across the pond there, and big accumulations in northern India. A severe Arctic outbreak fell records across the United States. That's all but over, but not before Nebraska's Grand Island saw temperatures plummet to minus 24 Fahrenheit, smashing the record set back in 1938 by over 13 degrees. Kansas City, Missouri saw temperatures drop below zero. Springfield recorded a low of minus 12 Fahrenheit, breaking the 1918 record of 7. That's a huge discrepancy there. Oklahoma City reported a low of 4, breaking the old cold record of 9 by a considerable margin as well. And in Laredo, Texas, shivering through 26 Fahrenheit, while Houston faced wind chills dropping as low as 12. State thermometers struggled to climb above 40. And those are some of the record totals over the last 2 days, popping up everywhere, including and moving all the way to the east there in the southern Appalachians. So a massive amount, hundreds of record colds broken over the last 2 days. Shut up, Al, get in your hole! Al Gore says it's not cold anymore. Relentless snow slams Turkey. Fierce conditions are hammering Turkey, grounding flights, closing roads, and dumping record-breaking snow on the country's ski resorts. Temperatures are plunging below freezing nationwide, and the snows are building. Istanbul is struggling under heavy snowfall with widespread disruptions reported. Planes circled above Sabiha Gökçen Airport as visibility dropped, runways iced over. Flights had to be diverted and ground crews worked to clear the snow, but delays piled up as conditions worsened. Officials had no choice but to cancel large portions of the flights through the 22nd at least. The Turkish Meteorological Service has warned citizens of impassable roads, icy highways, increased avalanche risks, and more. Northern provinces, including Zonguldak, Dulce, and Kastamonu, are bracing for additional snowfall of 20 centimeters, while the nation's ski resorts are now boasting epic, record-challenging totals, including 161 centimeters or 63 new inches at Kartalaya and 54 inches at Uludağ. There are big accumulations across northern India as well. It has been hit by heavy snowfall over the last 24 hours, with Himachal Pradesh, Jammu, and Kashmir in the Uttarakhand receiving significant accumulations. 16.5 inches in Gondala, followed by Keelong with 14 inches, and Kukusheri with 9.5. Hope I said that all right. A major earthquake shakes parts of British Columbia and Alberta today. The cause is being investigated because it may be the largest frac quake in Canadian history. First reported at 5.1, with a downgrade by the USGS to 4.6, certainly rattling the area, and now 4.7 magnitude, according to Canadian media. The quake was originally reported Earthquake Canada at a 5.2 mag before the measurement was adjusted. It was recorded at 8:41 a.m. MT, approximately 93 kilometers southeast of Grand Prairie and 345 kilometers west of Edmonton. According to Earthquake Canada, it had a very shallow depth of 7.1 kilometers, indicative of deep well injection and the fracking industry. Sarah Holland was working at her home office in the Hart neighborhood of Prince George when she felt the shaking. Not much damage, but a huge quake in the prairie, as the Turkish government has warned the people of Istanbul of the threat of a strong earthquake and tsunami. The Turkish government has alerted the people of the risk and possibility of tsunami and a large magnitude 7 or higher could impact the city. Home to more than 15 million people, and it could generate tsunami waves 3 to 5 meters high. As a preventative measure, sirens have been installed in coastal areas and an alert system has been implemented to inform residents, according to Uzbek journalist Sahiba Hayat, who resides in Istanbul. Some people have decided to move to Ankara for fear of an earthquake and tsunami. The Turkish government has intensified its preparations for a possible earthquake and tsunami due to seismic activity on the island of Santorini. Local media, citing State Agency for Disaster Emergency Management, have warned the population about the possibility of strong earthquakes. The good news is that the earthquake swarm at Santorini is decreasing. No large earthquakes today, not any above 2.5 even registering at the USGS. Here's that big quake, which is sitting at 4.8 on the USGS in Canada. Frack quake, indeed. Overall, low-level activity worldwide. I can't even make this up. Someone cooked a sausage on a lava rock. Mount Etna's growing problem with tourists. About a week ago, we showed you pictures of adventure skiers skiing down a slope on Mount Etna just meters away from an active lava front. Well, it's apparently become a party up there, and everyone is grilling on the lava. There's sausages. Well, that's bad news because the Darwin Awards, they are handed out every year to dumb people that have no idea what they're doing or how dangerous a situation they may be putting themselves in. Sicilian mounted police are urging people to keep their distance from Mount Etna's lava flows and to follow the local rules as tourists flock to the volcano to witness its ongoing explosive eruption and amazing lava flow. Giuseppe Di Stefano of Etna Walk has been leading groups up Etna for 23 years since Europe's most active volcano started erupting on February 8th. He has observed a worrying deterioration of tourist behavior. During these 12 days of eruptions, we have seen so many absurd situations. There are some walking to the lava flow with plastic bags on their feet so as to not wet their shoes with snow and ice. We call those Karens. Restrictions require people to stay 500 meters or 1,640 feet away from lava flow. Skiing is also banned, and these group of people are literally 20 feet away. So they are not listening to the regulations. But the good news is that these people aren't smart enough to even be allowed to stay on the planet, in my opinion. Leave a comment below. The rest of the erupting volcanoes for the day include Liwatobi to 8,000 feet. Korovin, a new one on the list right there. Volcanic ash, not identifiable, but a new name nonetheless. I've never even seen that in a decade. Sakurajima, 7,000 foot puff today. Ibu to 9,000. The 10th paroxysm at Kilauea has been halted, as well as the live stream on Rumble. We've got some enhanced activity at Atka volcano in the Aleutians. A small explosion occurred earlier today, and the alert status has been raised to orange, but here it says rated. So you guys can go fix that. Santa Guito to 14,000 feet. Swanazima, 5,000 foot puff today. Semaru, volcanic ash reported. Ducono to 9,000. Popo to 20,000. Nevado de Ruiz, 21,000 foot puff. Liwatobi to 7. Ducono to 9. Ibu to 7. Semaru to 15,000 foot. Liwatobi to 9,000. Nevado de Ruiz. Oh, look at this. White Island, a nice stringer of ash there with a 6,000 foot continuous low-level eruption today, wrapping up worldwide volcano news. And that is a boom to knowledge. A quick look at space weather for February 21st. We can see an uptick in the last 24 hours with activity rising into the high C-flare range with impulsive M-flare penetrations, 2 of them in the last 24 hours. We'll keep a close eye on these small sunspots. None of them are big enough to do anything significant to Earth or even produce geomagnetic storms potentially. But nonetheless, we'll keep a close eye on them for you as the 3-day geomagnetic forecast is all quiet. And solar activity is back to moderate levels thanks to an impulsive M3.3 solar flare peaking at 12:15 UTC, but it was quite impulsive and, well, not impressive in any way. A few coronal holes are days out, and they may be geo-effective in 7 to 10 days or so. And so, well, the sun has gone quiet. Big news. When are the next eclipses in the U.S.? Well, they're in March. 2 of them. We've got the total lunar eclipse March 13th and 14th, which will cover all of North America and portions of South America. So everyone watching in the U.S. will be in total lunar eclipse early in the morning on the 14th. Late at night, the 13th, early morning, the 14th. So you got to stay up late to see this one. Now, there is also a partial solar eclipse that's going to happen in the Northeast here in eastern Canada and all of Greenland. And that is on March 29th, a partial solar eclipse. So make sure you mark your calendar and you get out and you look up. The James Webb Space Telescope unexpectedly changes course. It has detected a danger to Earth, and we're talking about 2024 YR4. This is a potentially dangerous near-Earth object, which had a 3.1% chance of hitting Earth last week, but has now been reduced to less than 0.2%. This is how these things go, and as we get closer to the date, I believe the probability of 2024 YR4 hitting us will get less and less. And we will discuss it tomorrow, noon Mountain Time, on Revolution Radio. Scientists finally reveal the truth behind the Eye of Africa's astonishing origins after decades of speculation. Now, a massive circular formation deep in the Sahara Desert has puzzled scientists and fascinated astronauts for decades. We are talking about the Eye of the Sahara, none other than the Richat structure. Its perfect ring sparked wild theories, from a meteorite impact to the lost city of Atlantis, but all of those have been debunked, and anyone working on either of those ideas are just wasting time and energy. Recent discoveries finally reveal the truth, but it's nothing like the myths. And the paper, The Eye of Africa, Richat Dome in Mauritania, an isolated Cretaceous alkaline hydrothermal complex, explains exactly what we thought for decades, that this is a magmatic upwelling which takes the sedimentary structures on the surface and pushes them up in a bubble where they slowly get eroded into concentric circles, like we see here. Nothing more, and certainly not Atlantis. The tomb of Thutmose II has been discovered in Egypt, the first Egyptian king's tomb ever to be discovered in over 100 years. The last one was Tutankhamun back in 1922, but in Luxor, Egypt. Reports that Egyptian authorities announced the discovery of the long-lost final resting place of Egyptian pharaoh Thutmose II, who reigned from 1492 to 1479 BC. His was the last missing tomb of the kings of the renowned 18th dynasty, which ruled Egypt between 1550 and 1292 BC, and the first royal Egyptian burial unearthed since the discovery of Tutankhamun in 1922. Who knew? Well, now you do. And the discovery is fantastic, in my opinion. Now, we've re-uploaded The Rebirth of Catastrophism on our Rumble channel, Magnetic Reversal News, so please go check it out. The first time we put it up, it had huge audio issues, so now we put the main copy up so you can enjoy the show. and enjoying the show is easy. You can join us every Saturday noon Mountain Time at Revolution Radio to discuss some of the most pertinent topics on cosmic catastrophe, well, that Leah and I discuss almost every week. Leah is still sick with the flu, so joining us tomorrow will be none other than Ransom Godwin. Yeah, 420, The Freedomist, and also from David Dubine's Civilization, whatever that channel is. Join us tomorrow and we'll tell you more. We're also going to go over Tunguska, the event that happened, well, one of the most significant non-impacts that happened in the last recent memory. This happened just over 100 years ago. We'll go over the Tunguska event site, what laid down 800 million trees, and we'll get to the bottom of it all. Join us at Revolution Radio, noon Mountain Time in Studio B. Just click on Studio B right there and play. Support freedom of speech at Revolution Radio. Become a Patreon. Hit the donor box or a direct payment in North America. And if you just suffered a power outage recently, you may be looking for a power station or some type of backup power. What type of power station are you looking for? Is it home backup power, outdoor recreation, a grid down scenario, or even maybe professional work? Well, don't say oops when you have no power. Say oops and get the power station. There's a huge sale running through the end of the month, February 28th, where you can get deep discounts on all of their models of power stations, from the smallest to the largest, to power any of your needs that you're thinking of. The best entry-level model we just came out with it just weeks ago, is the Oops Exodus 1200. It weighs just 8 pounds. I'm about to do an entire video on how amazing this little product is. It charges in just 3 hours with a small solar panel array, and you could keep everything powered, all of your devices, 24 hours a day through an entire grid down scenario. It's retailing at $700, but you can get it for $350 right now if you click the link below. And that's a boom to knowledge. Support the channel. Buy the Oops. Support your preparedness. Get the Oops. And that's a boom. We love each and every one of you. Be safe. And that's a boom. It's spring. Ding, dang. Things are happening. New.